Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a good afternoon. So, first of all, you should show me if you are seeing my screen. Today, we are going to look at two symbols. We'll look at gold. The chart on my screen, this is gold. We'll also look at silver. So, these are the two main symbols we're going to look at. We basically want forecast. We want to see what we expect to be this week, and if time allows us, we're going to look at it up to what expect to be happening today. So we'll start off with gold. This is gold, and so far, as you can see, gold has been upwards. The price continue massively to the give me just a second. Let's see if you can get more data on gold. So this is how gold looks now. As you can see, we now have a lot of information from back when this was gold was around 289 USD. We've very good information. So far, as you can see, gold has been upwards. The price has been moving massively to the upper side. There's no signs that we are somehow reversing to the lower side. And this was in 2000. There was a big move up. Then that following it continued up. It continued up until this was February 2009. Gold was at its peak. Then it moved down, corrected itself up to this is 2015. It retraced back to the lowest, and this was around how much? This was 1059.82. As I'm speaking now, the price is headed back to the highest high we've seen so far. So if you're looking at gold now, you're simply supposed to be waiting for price around this point. Either the price will break beyond it or bounce off from that point, head straight to the lower side. This is what could happen. If the price does not break beyond this resistance, it should bounce from it, head to the lower side up to 1059.82. And in case the price goes below this point, we'll wait for a pullback before we continue selling it, expecting price to continue lower. This is what could happen. If the price does not break beyond the highest high we've seen so far, that is this high, this zone here, then we'll expect it to bounce off, head straight to the lower side, then continue down up to 1059.82, where it should break below, then retrace back before we continue to the lower side up to around 259.88. So this is what could happen on the seller side. But should the price break above, that is, instead of bouncing off, if it goes above, then expect it to continue to the upper side. So the next chart, we are going to look at the same chart on a lesser time frame. This is what should happen on the monthly. Let's look at the same chart on the weekly point of view so that we see what we expect to be happening. This is how the weekly chart looks. As you can see, this has been upwards. We had a resistance here. This was a very good resistance from the past. We had a resistance. We had a resistance here, and then from the lower side, this was a very good support. We had a support here. We had a support. So instead of, after breaking beyond this level, we expected price to retrace back, then continue to the upper side. That did not happen. Instead, the price broke above, continue upward, and as I'm speaking now, the price is still very much to the upper side. So what this means is we are still upwards. If you're looking at gold now, keep looking for buy positions. Do not look for any sell orders at the moment, because as you can see, the price has been upwards, and from the month on we still expect price to go up to this point. So after the break beyond the weekly level, which is this one, this is the same level we're having here, is the same level having around this level on the weekly chart. So does that move, and then we saw some minor consolidations. These are the consolidations. We had that there was a break above, there was that retracement, it continued up, and as I'm speaking now, the price is consolidating. So unless the price clearly break beyond this high, unless the price clearly break and close above this resistance, we choose to remain on the sidelines. So on the weekly chart, the price needs to continue up to this point, break beyond, retrace back, and then continue up to the level we're having on the monthly, which is this 1833.52. So the price needs to break beyond this weekly level and then continue up to the top. So the question of whether this is a sell or not is not there. We are simply looking for buy positions on gold, because there's a monthly level which the price needs to reach first of all before it continues to the upper side. So keep watch. We had some zone here. This is a very good zone, like a very good shape, as a sign that we are continuing upwards. The price moved up, it formed this shape, it continued up, it formed a similar thing, it continued up, and even now before you continue upwards. So if the price fails to break beyond this level in the immediate future, we may see some shape forming. We may see some shape, that is, it may remain within that range. Then we are supposed to see some break the upper side. This is what could happen. So let's look at the same chart on the daily. We see what we expect to be happening. So even before look at anything, you can see that the price is indeed consolidating, but it's consolidating in an upward manner. Like we have a resistance here. This is a very good resistance level. We have a resistance, and then you also have a resistance here. Then what I was saying about consolidation, you can see we have that, and then you also have one from the bottom which doesn't look very good. This is not a very good one, but it's still a shape. So we had a resistance, we had a resistance, and then I had a resistance here. Then I have a support, we have a support, then we have a support, we have a support. So what should happen now on this chart? Sorry, this is 5 minutes chart, not daily, but let's look at this first because it's really interesting. This is still a very good place. May come back down before we see it move to the upper side, where if it goes above that resistance, expect a retracement so that we continue upwards, which means this should be the correct place to look for a buy. And so the next best place to look for a buy is this one. So if the price pulls back to the lower trend line, this will give us a buy place. If it breaks beyond the upper trend line and it traces back, this too will give us a good place to look for a buy. So let's look at now this chart from the daily point of view. We mistakenly look at it from the 5 minutes, but that's not what we wanted. We have to look at it on the daily chart. On the daily, I talked about consolidation on the weekly chart. Now look at what's happening on the daily. There's actually, we are struggling after this big move to the upper side. The price entered into some shape, the price is basically struggling within that shape. This is like an expanding wedge formation, but overall we are still upwards. So if you draw a line from this point here and also draw a line from the bottom, you can see that we had a resistance here, we had a resistance here, we had a resistance here, we had a support here, we had a support here, and we had a support previously. Then we expect the same place to be the support in the future. So should the price retrace back down, that is, if the price bounces off from this point and heads straight towards this level, then this could give us the best place to look for a buy, which means we do expect price to continue upwards after breaking, after bouncing off from the lower trend line. It breaks above the upper one, expect it to continue to the upper side. So this is the farthest you can look on gold. So far on the monthly, we expect a continuation up to 1833.52, and then on the weekly we expect a break beyond 1765.52 towards the monthly level, which is this, and then on the daily we expect a bounce from this point to the lower side or a break beyond, so that we continue, all of which should head straight towards 1833.52. So the next symbol we look at is silver. Silver, if you check the monthly chart, silver has been downwards. There's this massive move to the lower side, to the upper side. We moved from this point here upwards. Then there's a correction which we are yet to recover from. So silver is yet to recover completely from this crash, the one which happened from this point towards the lower side. This was in 2009. This move from this point up to this point, silver is yet to recover from it. So far we do expect it to move alongside gold, which means the price may likely pull back up to this point. This may take several years, but we expect a continuation up to this resistance in the future. The price may likely come back up to this resistance. So if you see the price break beyond this resistance, we'll be waiting for some retracement and then a continuation, where we have this here. We have this, you will give us, this was a buy and this was a buy. Then this will be a buy, sorry. We'll wait for retracement and then a continue. Have a level here. We expect so that we continue up to the level 47.9. We took a buy here previously. We're waiting to pick a buy when the price moves above 20.335, and if it breaks beyond the next level, 27.319, this will also give us a buy place. And if it's on 34.671, then this too will be a good place to look for a buy from. So we are waiting for price to break beyond, retrace back, break beyond, retrace back, break above, retrace back, and then continue up to 47.904. So let's see the same chart on a lesser time frame on the weekly chart. So this is silver. If you check on the weekly chart, we do have here we have a support here, and then we have a resistance here, and then we have a resistance here, then we have a resistance around this point. On the lower side we have a support here. This also should be a zone. So the entire place we had some support here, we had a support, and then we had a support, then we have a resistance, So if you're on this chart now, you're actually supposed to be eyeing these three zones: the lower one, the upper one, and then the most upper one. So the price needs to come back to this point, most probably break beyond, retrace back, and then continue up, or the price may bounce from this point, head straight to the lower side up to 14,073. That is, if it does not break beyond 18,687, then we'll expect a sell towards 14,073, 14.073. So that's what we expect to be having on the weekly. If you check monthly, expect a move up, same move upwards. Let's look at the daily chart. On the daily chart, we are seeing almost the same thing like the one we have on the weekly. We also have a resistance here. So this is like a resistance, a resistance, a resistance, and we do expect price to come back to it. We'll wait for retracement and then we continue. So if this happens, that if the price goes up then pulls back down, then this will mean we are continuing upwards. We'll have our resistance here. So this will be the correct place we want to take profits from. The price needs to pull back 18,700, break beyond, retrace back, and then continue up to the top 5. We expect it to go up